Stink. All right. Can you hear us okay?
Have you been out hunting, Phil?
Got mine.
You got yours already?
Yeah, pretty cool. You're my age. If the weather is going to sink to 30,
You gotta do
and
it.
you're on wharf, your body is destroyed.
You gotta do
You
it
make
quick.
it at 9 AM.
Wow,
Oh, nice.
We set it up.
you set it all
We
up.
set it up. Tell
Yeah.
them to meet me down there. And that was it. And, fantastic.
But I'm supposed to bring up something about Aaron's deer too.
Aaron's deer.
Yeah,
His moose. I mean, his.
Oh, his
It's moose.
oh, right,
Yeah, you
the
got a moose.
extraordinary shot.
Huh?
Remind you about the extraordinary shot.
Yeah, I'll remind him about the 2 years he spent practicing at my house.
Yeah.
Learning that the back end of the gun is the one with the wood on it. And the front is the one with the long
you ready?
skinny tube.
I think we're good.
I need to order at 7:02. And we will do the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, Paul. I have minutes. Motion that we accept the minutes as amended.
Second.
Vote 3-0.
You.
We have representatives of the governance committee here. You're up.
Thank you for Kathy and I. So we kind of took a bit of a hiatus during the summer. But we did get back together last week. And we have a lot of data that we've collected, kind of collated, very, very obvious trends. We're here to ask the select board if you want us to make a recommendation, one possibility, or if you want us to kind of turn over the data, get the data. But I mean, we can just give you the results, if you will, the data, the information, or we could make as a committee a recommendation to the select board. I think that's really what we're looking.
Yeah, I think basically what we need to know now is what you want us to do next. What's our next step?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we present you with the data, where do you need us to do anything else with it? We just want to know what we're supposed to do next.
And just so you know, we reached out to town managers and select board chairs from 5 local towns, local to us,
Mm-hmm.
all Kennebec County. Wayne, Fayette, Reedfield, Belgrade, and who am I forgetting?
Manchester.
Manchester. And we had very good participation. I think we only missed maybe one person total.
Yeah.
So we tried to get the select board chair and the town man from each of the towns so that we would get the perspective from, both positions, if you will. So, yeah. Yeah, so
And that, just as a committee, what we did was we developed a list of questions that we asked each of them.
Yeah.
Was pertaining to the town manager or to the select person.
yeah, we didn't want to just have informal
So that we
chit
would
chat. We
just-
wanted to make sure we asked every single person the exact same question.
Right.
And then, there was
And then some
chit
follow-up
chat or whatever.
if we needed it.
yeah.
And then that way we could look at the data, from every single question, how people answered it and really look at some trends that developed through looking at that data.
And I think all these towns are either our size or just a little bit larger. So obviously Reed Field is, I don't know, who knows offhand, 2,600 people.
Around there.
We have that data
Yeah,
as
we do
well.
have that data.
But you know, they're a little bit bigger, but generally similar sized towns. It's not like we were interviewing, you know, whatever.
Yeah, Augusta.
Augusta or whatever, some larger town. But you know, we were frankly, I don't know if we were surprised, but the uniformity of the opinions of people, was, you know, there wasn't a lot of divergent opinions on the topic.
Interesting.
So anyways, we could prepare an actual official recommendation. You know, the committee will, you know, get together and, you know, vote, I guess, you know, or at least some
Yeah, that's a
some
very, yeah.
consensus as to what the committee's viewpoint is, you know. Or-
And maybe we could, at that point, if you want us to do that, we could look at the pros and the cons of moving forward with the town for town manager.
Mhm.
We're just kind of waiting to see what you want us to do.
Yeah. So anyway, the data gathering done, we're ready to, you know, figure out.
And we're meeting Wednesday night, so.
Oh, nice. So it'd be
We
good
can
to
keep
know.
going.
We met last week, we let you know, while we're all
Yeah,
thinking
we're
about
getting
it.
motivation right now, so.
So what is roughly your recommendation or what you're thinking anyway?
Well, I mean, I think the committee, you know, we should meet and make an official. You know, I think we should probably vote on making sure we agree what we're going to recommend.
Yeah.
Yep.
If what you're asking really is, what was the general sense that we got?
Yeah.
100% of the town recommend 5 people select board and a town manager, period, some question, you know.
Yeah.
There was some committee members who was initially. I think we'll find a way to put this in our committee report if that's what you want. But I think it's fair to say, preemptively, that's me, that the committee was put together by people with a lot of different viewpoints and experience. You know, a couple former select board members, budget committee members, other, you know, Uber volunteers, really, very knowledgeable people about the town and people who are concerned not with just the efficiency of town operations, but you know, the tax impact and all that. And I think initially it's safe to say that some people were like, wow, there's no way this would be crazy. And now I think committees, after interviewing all the towns, like, wow, how do we get by the way we are? So that's not official.
That's
You can put whatever you want in it. This is not official, this is ball talking. So the committee is gonna get back together Wednesday of this week and, you know, we'll be happy to start working on, you know, a committee consensus recommendation. Or just give you guys the data. Either way, we're happy to address it and talk to it about it, et cetera. So,
Yeah, that's good because that's what we need. In order to go before the town, you need pros and cons, recommendations,
yeah, and we have that
where
too,
you come,
pros and cons.
yeah, how did you come up with your recommendations and stuff like that?
And I think
And coming from
everybody,
a committee is even better.
yeah,
Will you also include the, not just pros and cons, but anticipated costs?
yeah.
Yeah. that's
Well,
what-
that was another question we
Yeah.
did have. We didn't really look that deeply at the financial impact. But we were wondering if that's something that we should pursue or if that's something that you would pursue, because that's an important piece of this, but we're not sure who's gonna do that.
So we gathered, I mean, and it's public record anyways, you can go look at any town, how much do they pay, you know, a town manager, what's the benefit package, et cetera. So I think we have enough data that the committee, I guess that was the other question really, the committee could try to make our best guess as to the impact. There's some offsets. For example, towns that have a town manager, don't pay the select board members a lot. It's just, you know, whatever, sometimes it's a, whatever, $25 meeting stipend.
Right.
But because you're, you know, when you have a town manager, you guys aren't in here like worrying about keeping the town afloat.
Right.
You know, so it becomes even more of a volunteer job, but uniformly, everybody has 5 members, so there's not as much pressure on youth, you know, the 3 people who are currently serving.
Right.
It becomes 5, and you know, you miss a meeting now and again, you just don't get paid for that meeting, whatever.
So I guess.
Kind of how they do it. But there's some offsets So for example, most towns or many towns, the town manager might be the treasurer. And then he or she hires an assistant or whatever. Or Reedfield, Eric is the transfer station manager. I don't think he really goes down there and deals with trash so much, but he's got that job. They're oftentimes the road commissioner. So there's various offsets. It doesn't come anywhere close to paying, the loaded cost of that employee, but there are offsets. Not to pay for the person, but it would be good for taxpayers to know if they're faced with that decision.
One of the topics I talked about in terms of town manager is related to being able to write grants. And so my question is, have any of the town managers you've talked to done that?
That's one thing that was one of our questions that we had for them, how much, because we had heard that could be a possibility. Most of them said they would love to, but they really don't have the time to. I think Wayne, either Wayne or Fayette, one of those two, I can't remember which one, I have to look back at my notes. When we interviewed them, they said that they did do some grants, but not a lot, not as much as they'd like to. So even though we'd like to think that that would be something that they could do, realistically, it didn't sound like that was, well, really, and that they had time for.
Yeah, just a lot of balls in the air. Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that happens because town manager is more operational.
Right.
And so they don't have the time to go out and do the project.
Right. So the other thing we talked about is, if you do want us to look at the financial impact, we probably then need a little bit more information about this town, like in what the salaries or what payment, what's the money that's going out to all of these different positions.
Yeah, we might just need an updated budget.
Yeah, so.
And that part of it, we probably need to work together.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Asking yourself.
So.
Let me take that.
You email Would that cost us?
Surcharge.
No, it is.
You're not locked out.
Incidentally, one of the nice things is coverage. The town manager doesn't frequently sit at the window, but usually the town manager's got those accreditations or trainings or, can fill in. So that's kind of a nice side benefit. So I think we'll have to try to come up, that will be part of the pros and the cons.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pros, frankly.
Yeah.
In your opinion.
I remember it was either 2 or 3 years ago, Paul standing up at a town meeting and saying, there's no way this town can go with the town manager. And then every time when I came in as selectman, every time I brought up a fact, I said, yeah, Paul, wouldn't the town manager be good?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it
It's
does
tough.
cost more, and
It does.
everybody gets a tax bill sitting in this room, right? So we all, it doesn't matter what your, political persuasion is or anything. We all get a tax bill, and we know that when we spend stuff, we see it in August. So we all have to be careful about that. But there's no town that's done it, none, that wants to go back or regrets it. Just for this town, it's just when, it's not if.
Yeah.
It might not be next year. And by the way, this doesn't happen quickly. It might not be next year. It might not be who knows when.
Right, it won't be
will.
next year, that's for
Have
sure.
to happen.
It takes over a year to.
Yeah.
it takes-
Well, there's a minimum requirement. Sue's very knowledgeable about this as far as when you have
can
to.
vote, is you have to have it.
Yeah.
on time.
You can't just throw it on the warrant,
Right.
at the last minute. So that's actually something we probably need to advise the select board.
Yeah.
Right, and then finding the
Make
right
sure.
person was the key that all of them said, you really have to
Really,
find the right person.
Yeah.
And the people in the area that we spoke to, they've been there for, some of them 10 years, some of them.
Oh,
So
like
they
Mark
were
over and say it, I've been doing that.
So the
forever.
longevity of
well, he does all the positions too.
he does do a lot of the positions,
Yeah.
yes. So,
Yeah. But it's just like any job, there's a fit
Yep.
or not.
Right.
And some select boards, I'm not gonna name any towns, but in my opinion, I guess I'll say some select boards have had more friction, if you will, with their town manager. you know, kind of cause them to say, all right, I'm leaving, the end of my
I think that
contract.
happens
I know
more
that
in
is.
larger towns too.
What happens in the old town,
Yeah.
definitely, but yeah. And generally, they have a contract, that's something we'll
Yeah.
have to, you know,
Yeah.
usually it's like a 3-year or whatever it is. You know.
Mhm.
It's gotta be predictable for them.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Yeah, once you do your thing, then it would be a matter of going to public hearings and stuff like that, so that people can hear what we want to do and stuff like that. And
So I guess we still haven't heard though, you know, do you want us to go ahead and try to figure out the budgetary? Do you want us to go ahead with the board, you know, consensus voted on whatever recommendation for the select board?
I don't
Yeah,
speak for Bob and Carl, but I think
Yeah.
a recommendation and the pros and cons would be great.
agree.
Yeah,
because the first question they're gonna ask is, how much is it gonna cost us? That's
Right.
definitely
Right.
the first.
And that would be better to come from the committee versus.
Right. Okay, we're good. I think that was a consensus.
consensus vote. That we would like
Excellent, we're good.
Thanks, governance committee,
Yeah,
doing all that good
Um,
background
Nick's
work.
coming up here, but actually I'm company tonight, so. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Thanks for
yeah.
doing all that.
Yeah,
You
great.
today.
See you Wednesday.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, review of the FEMA. We are still doing paperwork. I've got to tie all of the Pike invoices to Lee's invoices. And I've got to tie, that's the Pike ones. Then I've got to tie all of his roads, each road. This 19,000,
Mm-hmm.
I've got to tie each of those, break those down so that I know what he spent on each of these roads.
Instead of the lump.
Yeah, you see that? So if he, on one payroll, he spent money on 5 roads and it amounted to 20,000. He's not showing that in here, but I had to dig it out and put it in, and then I've got to back count it so that I know that that adds up to the total. So on invoices, I've got 71,000. And on Pikes, I've got, I don't know if I total that yet.
Well, how good are you with Excel? Are you comfortable with Excel?
What's that?
Are
I'm
you,
gonna put it in Excel, yes.
okay, because I can give you the Excel format that I use for the FEMA stuff that gives you the totals for the different loads and.
Yep,
He doesn't have email.
I'll give you a USB within.
Hopefully tomorrow, right?
Fingers crossed.
yeah, I think I think the Pike invoices came up to enough to make the total around 200,000.
Wow.
So that's where we're sitting right now.
These need to be done by a certain date.
No, we did have to have something
Yeah, you
before last meeting.
right, but
And we got that in.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm answering his questions right now.
Yeah, you had 2 weeks, 4 weeks ago, so.
Yeah.
You're dealing with FEMA now, but not yet FEMA,
FEMA,
directly to FEMA.
he's in Oakland.
Because all of this, all the 2017 storm, we had to do completely with FEMA for like 3 years, and then they handed it off to FEMA. And same questions all over again.
Yeah, I haven't had to deal with FEMA yet. It's all been FEMA.
That's good. Maybe you get to skip one step.
I don't know. It's better or worse, but I also have to have the coordinates, the GPS coordinates of all the incidences and all the stuff. So even when I replaced where he replaced the culvert, I had to have those points.
Hmm.
So the thing I found out was if I take a picture at the culvert,
Yeah, it'll
I
give
can
you
find it.
Mhm.
It took me forever to figure that one out, but now I got all the points. That worked out.
Yikes. Is there anything we can do to be
No,
full
I
Bob?
think I'm in the whole
Feel like you're
stretch.
on there,
I think I am.
almost there.
We're not gonna do policies today, are we?
I don't
Actually,
think so much.
we
Well,
have 8,
can we do 8?
I think we can.
Wait, hang on.
Gotta pull it out here.
Me too. Hold on, I'm disconnecting for a second.
When
We're still here. I just need to get to my files.
when you said the pay policy, I'm like, which, I didn't know which pay policy, so. 8 is financial policies, and this just needs to be updated a bit. First of all, do you want me to go ahead and do this, or do you want copies of it, or how do you wanna?
How many changes are there? Should I try to capture them in the document while you talk?
Why don't we wait till next
No,
time?
why
Yeah,
don't
let's
you,
go
why
through
don't we
it.
talk through it and then I'll type it up and send
Okay.
it to you, okay?
Okay,
You
yeah,
have copies?
I can print it, I mean, I have a copy here if we wanna.
Yeah.
You just want just
You
that
don't have to
policy?
either.
Um,
I'd like an opportunity to
Yes,
think
yeah,
it through.
yeah. Yeah,
yeah, why don't we wait till next time?
All right, I'll have copies available for everybody to take with them.
well, there's some things that do just have to be changed. It talks about the treasurer, all monies received by the treasurer will be deposited.
Right,
I-
which is not correct.
I don't ever receive any money. It goes directly through the clerks.
Correct.
And there's a time limit on that and stuff, so.
Yeah.
Why don't I type up what I think should be changed
Mhm.
And
and
great.
send it to you?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll leave a hard copy for you, just in case. But, then we can really go through, because this is a pretty straightforward one. It just needs to be updated to what really happens.
that'd be great.
Awesome.
Yep.
Carrie, if you have time to, I feel like the municipal, oh yeah. Disbursement one too, I just wanted to make sure,
Which one is that?
that is number 10, chapter 10. I just didn't know, I just felt like it might need some updating or not.
Yeah, good.
What chapter?
Chapter
Yeah.
10. So if you wanna take a peek and just make sure it
Okay, so-
actually says what is real.
So
Yeah,
those
so
are
I'll
the two
do-
we should plan for next time.
Mhm.
So 8 and 10.
All right, let me see if
I type up my recommended benefits and send. Was probably taken from somebody else, because it really has.
Yeah.
How we broke down.
Yeah, I'm sure it
things.
was pulled from.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows what sample policy.
And 11 is the one that's gonna be a tough one. It's the personnel stuff that we need to pull the PTO in
Yes.
and reference from the financial.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks,
Sorry.
Carrie.
what's next one? Audit, we're all set on that, right?
Yep, that I have the portal, I have the list of stuff, and I've started to pull things to upload. That's usually the majority of the work is pulling copies and all the stuff. and
We've tried to
uploading.
do what before.
And I think they're going to be here somewhere around December 13th,
Yep.
which is a Monday.
Yep.
For the physical on site. So I
Good,
guess they didn't do enough samples for their, not just us, but for other audits. Because we were doing them all remotely. It felt like they did it last.
oh, yeah,
I felt like it, there
Yeah,
were a lot last year, but.
yeah, they're still acting like it was COVID last year, so.
so they are doing
You
it.
call
on
them,
site.
they were calling at their house, it's not at their,
Yeah.
okay. Engineers report from the community center. I'm just gonna touch on them, on the findings. Did I send them to you guys? Okay.
Yes, I think that, yes, yeah.
The first one, if we can get a a lot of these, we're gonna just get prices on so that we can go to the town meeting. Painting the roof versus replacing the roof.
Mhm.
Painting the roof should be fine. We should be able to get a price on that. The bell tower sheathing, we just gotta get up there and find out what, he said he could see air, see light through.
One of the
And
pictures you sent have that, but I already.
I don't know.
Some of the pictures are kind
Is
of
the
hard.
bell side, like hanging?
Yeah, it's picture on, yeah. It looks like it's looking out where it's on a diagonal,
I think it's just pictured in talking about.
this one right here.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I can go. and
Is the
do it,
bell
like,
outside, like outside?
The bell is
From this
outside,
other pic- Okay.
yeah, it's outside.
it's outside.
So we can look at that one. The bell supports, that's another thing. We should go up there and look at it. Or have someone, probably have someone look at it too. I don't know who you. Maybe you should look, make a decision on the bell first.
At our meeting last week, we were talking about, do we get the bell out of there? But I don't know how we would do that. And it seems like that would be very expensive because you'd need to get a crane in there. And I don't know if you need to remove the steel.
But you'd have to do that to shore up the supports.
Cause you'd have to lift it up to put in the.
Is he
Yeah.
talking about this cross beam thing?
Yes, yeah,
But a cool thing might be to lift it out if you're going to have the expense anyway. Lift it out and put it on a cement pad by the
Yeah.
beach or something.
right. Right,
Mount Vernon down. Yeah, like, I don't know, because I don't know what it would cost to do either one.
Yeah.
Or the sound man.
that might be,
That, yeah, we were talking
if you wanna
about
go up.
taking it out of there.
Be glad to go up.
Okay, 4. The floor, this has come up several times. They, first of all, they wanted some wanted to pour a cement slab. What he was suggesting is putting a 15 mil plastic down, right?
The vapor barrier.
Yeah, just put a vapor barrier.
And then
You could probably start at the front, pull some of that rock down on top of it and then go
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
Going across the whole
That,
floor.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would help with the moisture
Mhm.
for sure.
He mentioned dehumidifiers when he was there, but I didn't see that anywhere.
What's that again?
The dehumidifiers, just putting a couple of dehumidifiers.
Someone,
down there.
yes. Oh, he did.
But then he didn't put it in here.
Oh.
He said we could, just put them up off the
Yeah,
ground.
and the stone footings, the footings right now are on just rock. They're pretty good rock. I don't think you'll get the rocks out of there. But he wanted to pour something.
I think it was just a couple of the posts that were not
Yeah.
rotting.
We'll have to look at it.
Yeah, because it wasn't all of them. And then there was just some dry rot that we could reinforce.
Right.
And we've already filled in all the perimeter now.
That's exciting.
And
I think we also did the chimney point,
yes, that's all done.
so that's all. done.
Yes, 7's all done.
So that, too bad you couldn't have done some of that
Before he came.
while it was lifted. No,
Oh.
like to pour
Yeah,
anything down there and stuff, how it was lifted up for the time.
yeah, he wanted to replace those cedar posts with 6x6 pressure treated posts.
Yeah, I don't know if we need, it wasn't all of them.
I don't know.
We needed.
We could fix that floor as you're going into the kitchen.
Yeah, that seemed pretty simple.
That's a simple fix. And there is one beam down there that has dry rot in it. And that should be a fairly simple fix.
Yeah, he even said that
Simple
you
for
didn't
a
even-
contractor.
you didn't even need to do the whole length. It was just that one part. He said we
Right.
could reinforce or
Right.
something. I thought.
Hopefully. The toughest thing on the whole thing is getting stuff down into the cellar,
We're getting stuff out of the cellar.
getting those stones down there.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
by buckets. That's how they got the stone down in there.
I thought
So-
they put a chute in, well, we've had that hole last time. They put a chute in.
They did,
They did have a shoot.
yeah, when, you
No,
had
don't.
the stone put down there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they didn't put the vapor barrier down at
Yeah.
that point. I'm going, what did I miss?
And the only other thing was, Sherry Wenzel called today and said that she's gonna have someone look at the dump guys.
Oh, to get the stuff
Get
out
that
of there.
stuff out of the cellar, so,
I think Mike was gonna talk to them.
That stuff being like the old.
the old furnace,
The old tank.
yep,
Mhm.
and
That
stuff like
old
that.
furnace probably is gonna need weld.
You'll have to break it,
Break it apart.
you'll have to break it apart.
That's really big.
And the only other thing is the curb at the front.
Yeah, we talked about that when you.
Yeah, and I tried to get Lee down there, but he had too many other things going. And that's it.
But I thought DOT had agreed to putting a curb in there.
No, they just said it would be, we could go ahead and do it and it's pretty
Okay.
straightforward.
Yeah.
And we could do it over by the lake boat launch.
That should be done over there too, but we'll have to tackle it next summer. Yeah, Lee had too many. Jobs that he had to
Yeah.
finish up.
Yeah. Okay, good.
And that was about it.
So we'll just get
Oh,
prices
no,
from
one
them?
more thing.
Should we get prices from them? Because you said they would price out some of it.
Um,
We have our own other contractor?
yeah,
Actually, we have to put things out to them.
right,
Right,
you'll have
we need
to-
3, right?
unless they're under 1,000. I think
Some of these.
some of these would be under 1,000. The painting of the roof probably won't be.
And the gravel.
What about the trees?
Trees, okay. Here. Well, MMA had, one of MMA's problems with insurance was that the trees on
Right-hand side.
Judy's side, the trees are all hanging right over the building.
Oh,
So I got a quote from, this guy that did work for Judy. And for $900, he'll trim those trees right back that are right leaning.
That's
so they
not
don't
so
cut them
bad.
down, they'll just take off the branches?
Yeah.
I think so.
I asked Bill if we could cut them down, he said no,
Mm.
because they're too close to the lake.
Oh. They are close.
So I didn't want to do a battle, so I figured $900.
Trim them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then I also did a $300 cut out here to get rid of these.
Out this way.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
Nice.
would you like to make a motion to do those two projects?
I would motion that we hire Good Neighbors LLC to prune the trees next to the community center for $900 and to cut down the trees next to the town office for $300. That's $1,200 total.
Second,
Thank you.
which one where?
Yeah.
Here, there's 4 trees out here that need to come down. I cut most of them down, but these were kind of leaning and bigger and I didn't really dare to do them. So for $300, he's popping
Is
them
that
down.
gonna affect? From here, the
Right,
parking down.
insurance, again, was saying that the trees were leaning towards the building.
Okay.
And then I was worried about the antenna also.
And doesn't that hold back the slope, because that's a big drop off there, and if you cut those trees, don't we run the risk of that washing?
No.
Okay.
They'll be back in a year.
But trivia.
Don't worry,
Snack.
don't worry.
Okay, I don't,
A second, and third, and we have discussion.
Yeah, no, you're still in discussion, nobody's voted, you're still
okay. As with anything, I need proof of insurance
Yeah.
and a W-9 Technically, whenever we do things like this, we should get that before they start. So if they can't provide it, we shouldn't continue. Instead of me saying I'm holding the check.
Mhm.
I'll talk to Lauren anyway. Yeah, I better be down, I won't be able to get it on that, huh? Vote. 3-0. Do we have to do anything? Just give
Tina
that
wants
Yeah, I knew that everything, so that you're most present.
I think that's all on the community center.
So just one follow-up question, this is, in terms of pruning the trees, is that gonna address MMA's, issue?
Yes,
I assume that, I just wanted to ask the question directly.
yeah, it says vegetation needs to be cut back at least 3 feet from the structure.
Okay.
And then the MMA also talked about those columns, that temporary columns they had down there that are kind of bowling, which we'll take care of. And they also talked, okay. They were the ones that also talked about the outdated furnace.
Oh, getting it out of there.
So we want to talk about coming up with a newer furnace.
Oh.
You still use it, so
Using the wood.
Yeah. using that furnace,
Mhm.
but when there's a flood down there, you lost the electronics in it. And they were also concerned about the oil tank that's down there. They keep dry, wet and dry.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You don't have this much in
Yeah, these are all things that have to come up later at a town meeting.
Capital.
You probably would. We'll find some bread.
Okay, getting away from the community center. Here in this building, there's the eave over here.
Mhm.
The fiberglass is gone, blew
Mm,
away. I was gonna come up and replace it because I thought it was just a little piece, but
yeah.
it's that whole section.
Oh, yeah.
And then underneath the sieve, it's missing too.
Okay.
So I've made arrangements for Ben Lauer to
Mhm.
come up and do the door,
Mhm.
to do the push button.
Yeah.
So I'll ask him if it's something he can do. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. I bet he could do it
I don't know. I'll
for not much, but
see.
yeah.
I think that. Yeah, oh, this was the trees and this was the missing piece. So that'll get the town office off in the end.
Yay.
I know I'm a nag when it comes to paperwork. Do I have copies of what all that stuff that you've done?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably. I can email you.
I think I sent it
think-
to you, right?
Yeah.
I know you don't have email, but we can get it later.
I think I have all of those, Tina.
Just so I have it for the record, because I don't have
Yeah.
it to get back.
Send to Tina.
Thank you.
Community center and
Yeah, that's fine. I'll add it to the minutes at any time. It's not a problem.
should we do the road committee or did we skip them on purpose on our agenda?
Who? Road committee.
I was just wondering.
I asked you.
It's check. You can't see, but his
Oh.
check mark's just too enthusiastic
road
and it
committee.
made it look like that was all.
road committee. Okay, so I've tried to get a hold of Pete Coughlin. And you tried to get a hold of Alice's program, right?
Yeah, fine.
Ken. And Mike Wenzel is right now trying to get a hold of that program, because Pete said that he would send us one if we couldn't find it. So I will talk to Mike.
We'll have them send it to you.
Yeah, tell me.
Have them send it to
No, I
somebody.
will call him. Call Mike,
Maybe that's why your email is completely full.
maybe. Call Mike. Okay. And that's all I had. Until we get that program, that's just about all we can do. But it'll be nice once we get it.
Road committee, basically it. Now what do you want us to do?
Yeah, because once we get that all inputted, it'll give us a nice map with all these roads marked out.
Because you evaluated all the roads, right? You've
We've
gone.
done all the roads.
Then do we want the road committees, speaking of recommendations on
Not till
what
we
they
get that
might,
map.
after the map,
Yeah,
on what they might want to
Yes.
prioritize for the coming budget
yes.
season.
And I did send Ron LaRue an Excel spreadsheet that helps you with that. On calculating what you're going to need for the next year to repair the road, so he has that as well, so that can be incorporated.
Yes, so that will, once we get the program and into that data, it's gonna give us something good to work with, and then we can get together and start making recommendations.
Main thing you want to get rid of the town meeting, though, is it?
Mhm.
Come up with some proposal.
Oh, yeah, that won't be long, once we get into late January and February,
Mm.
we'll be getting going. Okay,
That reminds me of a side note, Bob. Can I
Oh,
ask
boy.
a question before I lose the plot?
Don't lose it.
So many emails, since you can't, all the chairs, and ask if they want to write their reports
yes,
now and
Yes.
not in May when we're up against the deadline. Okay,
yes,
I will do that.
that would be very nice.
Okay, will
There's
do.
no reason why they can't write it now.
Nice long evenings, dark outside, perfect time
Yep.
to write your report.
Would
Exactly.
you like to do
For
this?
the annual meeting. I'm happy to,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I remind people too, if there are any new ones, that it's for last year.
Yes, I know, and that makes it all the harder when you're writing it in May, because so much has happened since the prior year. When did that happen? So it's easier to do it now.
Dedication.
Yeah, I think so.
Like in heavenly.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yes.
Okay, this one is gonna be a little bit. I don't know. Blake Hill Bridge.
Mm,
I don't know if you've noticed, but they taken down the 10-ton sign and they put up a 3-ton sign.
yes.
Okay, 3-ton means a car or a truck my size. My size is not a half-ton, it's smaller. So,
Wow,
why, yeah, your truck will,
mine's,
it's ridiculous.
Not a school bus.
No, the school bus is not going across it now.
Okay, not an ambulance.
No. Okay, so I talked with the bridge engineer. He says there's massive deterioration of the girder supports at the piers.
Okay.
So they normally look at bridges every 2 years
Mhm.
in October. This one was looked at. they're gonna look at this one next October. And at that point, they will decide on, they will close it. I said, is there any way that you could put something temporary?
Mhm.
He said, no, it's too much of a span. The span is about what my truck is.
Mhm. Mhm. Do they want to move up their timeline for replacement? I assume the
They can't.
answer is no.
No,
They're
they're doing
booked out.
surveying right now. They haven't even purchased materials,
Mhm.
which they'll probably do next year. And do the project in 2025.
Mhm.
So it's pretty discouraging. Because, you know, there's no way people are gonna not go across that bridge.
Yeah.
Big trucks are going across it now, you know.
Is it a risk that it's just going to make it deteriorate faster, or is it a risk if those big trucks go over that it collapses?
I would say yes. But, you know, I didn't go under there.
So
Look
if
at
it's a risk, but maybe we can get some publicity to discourage big trucks from going across, going to General 8 and Gen 6 and the KJ and, you know, there's a
Yeah,
bridge that you should not have, take trucks across, you're endangering people.
I know, I know.
I think that would, I mean, it would be a good thing to publicize it, because if I'm in a big truck and I turn down that road because GPS said to go that way, I'm not,
You've got two big signs, well, three signs.
Signs,
You got a sign on Route 41, then you got a sign just before the bridge.
No,
You know, their response is just gonna be to close the bridge,
right. They're gonna
yeah,
close the bridge.
no, I know that,
Which is-
but,
which is what they'll do.
So
but,
the bridge has to be closed once they start the work.
Yeah.
So I don't know when that point will happen, because they have to take it out. And then they start doing their work. So are they gonna start taking it out in 24 anyway? So I don't know that I wanna ruffle feathers.
well, no, it's not a
At this
matter,
point.
it's not a matter, I don't think you can get the state to move faster, that isn't what I was
No.
thinking, but to really get it out a little more public, not just Mount Vernon people, knowing that you're not safe if you drive a big truck across there, like to him, so him and Lumber knows that when their GPS is taking them across that bridge, they probably shouldn't. Because it's not our problem, but it's still people's safety. So that wouldn't cost us anything and just help warn people.
But a professional driver knows what through that's.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have to worry about GPS or anything, they know what they're doing, and, they know,
Then why are they still going across it?
I don't know. Probably because the sign hasn't been up that long,
You know, yeah, the sign for
and
three,
maybe the truck is not
Yeah.
3,000.
No, we had professional drivers driving the big trucks across it. That didn't pay attention to that.
and that's, you can't, and that's what I told the guy, it's, how, you can't police it. Let me talk to the engineer working on the bridge for 2025 and see if I can get the schedule
For
for
where
their work. And they're gonna fold the bridge.
Mhm.
And if it's in 24 October, this all
Right.
goes away anyway.
Yeah. I wonder if Google Maps will let us mark
Yeah.
a hazard.
I was gonna say, when they.
Because
closed
I feel like-
For Castle Island Road, you were diverted around that.
Yeah,
Wonder if they can do that.
I'll see if
Yeah,
there's a way to
that would
record it,
be a good idea, because I know that,
because I'm sure people are just plugging it in and.
Or just
Yeah,
putting signs up to say no trucks, period. As opposed to.
Yeah, passenger vehicles only, or passenger cars only.
Yeah,
not very loaded.
Yeah,
Yeah, you get some of these big
Not your full grocery store.
Suburbans and stuff like that, I bet you they're over.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me get a schedule anyway, what's going on, and I'll see. It's,
Who can update Google Maps?
I don't
I
know,
don't know.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go, I'm gonna Google it, and see what I can, see what I can find.
Say, read that, you know.
Yeah, and
the
who knows,
weight-
some kind of
weight
alert,
limits.
yeah.
They ought to do it for Cottle Hill too, because people go down there in the middle of the winter,
And
because
this one
Google says you can.
and this one.
Yeah, and here too.
Actually, Cottle Hill and Moore Hill should have a warning, not for big vehicles.
Um, David Fuller wants to resign from the Economic Development Committee. And I'm not sure if he said he wanted to get off the. That's all. So I move that we accept David Fuller's resignation from the Economic Development Committee and thank him for his work over the years.
The second motion.
These are just give that to him.
Oh, probably, yes. Would you like this in the folder?
There's no name on this.
The name
Or just the
matter.
lot.
A lot.
Okay. Are these all with the same guy? Okay, I move that we accept these supplemental tax warrants. For map and lot, okay, map are 8. And it'll be for lots 23, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lot 1 is for $573.80. Lot 2 is for $579.50. For lot 3, it's $467.40. And lot 4, it's for $399.
Second.
Vote. New lots were not assessed.
Were assessed separately and they were just completely excluded.
It must have been not assessed as a subdivision. Yeah, it must have been assessed as a lot, not a subdivision. Other thing I had was, Bill Butler, CEO, is working on a problem he has on Long Acres. There's 2 RVs down there
Mhm.
that are not hooked up to septic systems. So he's working on those. We should have some results. I don't know if you saw this one. This one's. I didn't get enough information on that one.
This isn't for Long Acres, this is for
No, that's for
somewhere else.
Camp Laurel. Camp. That's for 5 Seasons.
Oh, so the question is basically if the question is if it goes under the new or old ordinance, is that the question?
Yeah.
Because it
This
was
is, this
changed.
is gonna be
didn't
another
it?
one of those cases where we're gonna have to get lawyers involved.
Yeah, I think that's true. Should we ask MMA for their
Yeah.
thoughts about which ordinance it would be? I can email them. I'll email them. So
Because even-
Just to let you know that I am talking with Spectrum about swapping internet service at the community center and talking to them also about the possibility of getting transmission service from that facility as well. So kind of in the middle of conversations, but moving forward with it.
She's still doing jury duty.
That's my understanding. Yeah, she's been pretty slow to respond since she's on jury duty. But I've also talked to the national accounts manager or the regional accounts manager for enterprise sales, who wants to talk to us about phone service for the town if we're interested in doing so.
Good.
Awesome. The public service announcement / reminder. So some folks might remember we are applying for this, we're hoping to apply for this community resiliency grant funding, which is coming through the state. And to apply, the town needs to go through a process basically to fill out some paperwork, which Harold and I have been working on, and have a town open gathering where folks can basically collect ideas for what we might want to use said funding for, what sorts of projects. There's a very long list of the kinds of things that can be funded. And then I think we also need to do an official voted on, like sign on sort of thing. So the just reminder for everyone is that meeting, that sort of conversation, so we can gather the ideas for funding, is coming up on Saturday, the 18th of November. It will be at the community center.
You need a time. There's no time.
There's no time.
Let me interject because
Yes.
I communicated with Harold and Harold was thinking from 9 to 3 that day. I did write to him again today to ask if that is still the
Yeah.
time range that he wants to go with, but I haven't gotten a response as of.
Yeah, so wondering if there's a format.
I think
That was gonna be that long.
my understanding is it will not actually be that long, but we'll try to get the real, the real time on your calendar.
I'm kind of wondering if he's just looking for people to stop by and basically give ideas individually as opposed to in mass. So I asked him those questions too.
Good question.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking about it because there's money out there. So a lot of the committees that I associated with were
Oh,
interested.
the newsletter, when I put it in the newsletter, that's why I looked. It says Saturday, November 18th at 10 o'clock at the Mount Vernon Community Center.
That sounds like. the right
Oh,
time.
really? Because it wasn't on the webpage and it wasn't in the,
Well, it's not on the webpage.
yeah.
Oh, it's
So
in the
where-
it's in the newsletter.
Did
where
that
you
come
should
from-
all get your news.
Did that come from Harold?
That came.
That came from Harold, yes. Yes.
Yeah, because they said they saw it and they didn't have a time.
And- and-
That's good. 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
So is any of these things that community center need come under that?
Good question. I'd
I
have to
think
relook
so.
at the
I was
list.
looking
I
at the
would.
list tonight and there was maybe even the community center stuff.
Yeah.
And some other projects that we've been talking about over the years. I thought, wow, this one's in there, this one's in there.
With fairness?
Yeah, maybe, because it said update your things. to more
Yeah, I
efficient-
think, I think I do
Yeah,
remember reading
yeah,
more
there's
efficient,
efficiency part.
And you
appliances.
look at propane instead of oil.
Yeah, that's what I was pushing
Yeah,
for.
that's a good idea.
Well, we have the heat pumps now, which really make a difference in that building, but the oil was still down there and we didn't take it out, so.
I just had a question. Is the list of the different projects in the newsletter in that Harold sent? I read that, but I can't remember if it was a really long.
Is it-
list.
Yeah,
It's on in a link on the website.
It isn't, okay.
Yeah.
It's on the homepage, scroll down to toward the bottom, you'll see the community. It's not like standing
You
out
have to
there.
really look for it, huh?
Yeah,
but
Okay.
the link does work to go to the list and. it's
Yeah.
pretty-
Okay, so the list
there's
is on the
something
website,
on there,
okay.
That's things talked about
Yeah.
over the years.
But
the list is
Yeah.
not on the
There was-
website, but it has a
The
link.
link that was, well,
Yes,
The link will take you to to the list.
and the link works when you get there.
yes, it worked prior to this meeting today.
but I could do a
Yeah,
bunch of
just
things.
looking at it. Because I was thinking that with this project,
Yes.
that maybe we could use some of the money for that.
That would be big help right there.
Mhm.
Something else?
I think that's it.
That's real good.
I have two new committee members for aging in place.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that you all need to approve them. Is Tina the one who's going to update the committee lists and who's going to
Who's doing what?
notify Hub, the volunteer insurance?
What are we doing?
You
We're
just have
adding
to fill
committee
out, do you have
members.
a form? You just want to do it, or you want me to?
I can do it, but we just should have somebody on a regular basis whenever committee members
Yeah.
change. Now that we're covering the volunteer insurance, we have to make sure everybody on a committee is covered.
If you give me that form that I have to update the list with, I'll just keep a copy here and then every time I get
Okay,
it.
every time one's
Yeah.
updated, that would be a good thing.
Yep.
Should we maybe send out something to all the committees
Yes,
that you have to have, you can't have people just showing up for the committee and yes, they're a member.
If
They
they're a
have to
member.
come through here.
so they can get insured.
Yeah, I can, actually, any member on a committee should have the committee paper, and we don't swear them in anymore, but they should have that committee paper
Yeah.
before they can do anything, yeah.
But especially now with, we had to provide lists and you have to
volunteer.
make sure those are up to date. So that would be great.
Okay, I'll,
I think we assigned you, Kath.
Yeah.
To the government.
I don't have any committee papers. so I need it.
I'll nominate Deborah Dubois and Maureen Murray to the Aging in Place Committee.
Second.
Vote 3-0.
And they both have some great ideas. One of them is actually trained in going and assessing safety, like handrails and stuff. And she's volunteering to go to different homes to look at it. But
So we definitely need to make sure
Yeah.
she's on the
Yeah.
insurance, yeah.
But you were also going to talk to MMA about liability insurance. You had something else that you were talking to them about. And I asked you about the liability of having somebody going into people's houses. To look for handguns. Yep. So I didn't, but I can, but you said you were going to talk to them and they got insurance about something else. So.
Well, anything else?
Or do you want me to do that? I can, but I didn't.
No, I'll do it.
Do, I forget what else you had.
No, you might want to do it, 'cause based on my, I should get my email pretty quickly, but. Yeah, why don't you,
There is one other
get
thing.
get it in writing though,
Okay,
email them and, so go through. Well, you'll have to go through risk management.
Yeah.
But get it in writing.
So one other thing, with regard to broadband. Apparently, Maine Connectivity Authority, I mean, you all, everybody heard that the Spectrum got a grant. Spectrum had negotiations with Maine Connectivity Authority and they couldn't come to a resolution on that. It then got kicked up to the governor's office and apparently that issue is now resolved. So Spectrum is going to get that grant and they are going to do the line extensions so everybody in town has internet access. We're trying to get details on what the build out plan looks like. So that'll be forthcoming here in the next few weeks, I hope.
Nice.
So they officially are getting the money.
That's what yes.
Great.
You are gonna show them our road first.
I'll point it out to them.
Yeah, we've got a number of lists that they missed the first time around. So
That's all I have.
All right.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Geez, why was there a hesitation?
I don't know.
We're out of here.
All right, good night, everyone
good night.
on the internet. Thanks, Mark.
You know what, these are-